General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee and President Xi Jinping held a welcoming ceremony on the morning of the 15th in the square outside the East Gate of the Great Hall of the People for General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam and President Su Lin, who was on a state visit to China. Peng Liyuan, the wife of President Xi Jinping, attended the ceremony. Tsai Che, a member of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Secretary of the Secretariat of the CPC Central Committee, was present. Wang Yi, a member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Director of the Office of the Central Foreign Affairs Commission, attended the ceremony. Wang Xiaohong, Secretary of the Secretariat of the CPC Central Committee and State Councilor, also attended the welcoming ceremony. Accompanying Su Lin on his visit to China were Wu Fangli, the spouse of the chairman, a member of the Politburo of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Chen Jingshu, Executive Secretary of the Central Secretariat, Phai Phin Day, a member of the Political Bureau of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Ruan Weiyu and Pan Van Zhang, Liang Singwang and Ruan Qingyi, Li Huizhong and Duen Mingxun, Chen Desheng and other accompanying officials. The military band performed the national anthems of Vietnam and China. A 21-gun salute was fired. Su Lin, accompanied by Xi Jinping, reviewed the honor guard of the Chinese People's Liberation Army. The two heads of state returned to the reviewing platform to observe the honor guard. The military band then performed a marching wind ensemble. Su Lin is paying a state visit to China at the invitation of Xi Jinping. After the welcoming ceremony, Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee and President of the People's Republic of China, held talks with Su Lin, General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam and President of Vietnam. Xi Jinping once again extended his congratulations to Su Lin on his election as President of Vietnam. Xi Jinping noted that Su Lin's decision to visit China shortly after assuming office demonstrates the importance he places on the development of China-Vietnam relations. He expressed confidence that under the leadership of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, headed by Comrade Su Lin, Vietnam will continue on the path of socialism and advance toward its long-term national goals. China continues to view Vietnam as a priority in its neighborhood diplomacy, regardless of global changes. China aims to uphold its original intentions, maintain friendship, and strengthen unity and cooperation. Both sides seek to advance high-quality strategic cooperation aligned with the Six Mores, build a higher-level China-Vietnam community with a shared future, and contribute to a shared future for humanity. Xi Jinping emphasized that the leadership of the party is the defining feature and greatest strength of socialism, and that safeguarding the socialist system and the governing role of the Communist Party is a major shared strategic interest of both parties. Both sides should maintain a high level of strategic clarity and strong strategic resolve, continue to strengthen confidence in their respective paths and systems, and adhere to reform while maintaining overall direction and stability. The two sides should make full use of inter-party channels, enhance high-level exchanges, and further consolidate political mutual trust. Mechanisms such as high-level meetings, theoretical seminars, cadre training, counterpart exchanges, and local cooperation should be effectively utilized. A new round of cooperation plans between the Communist Party of China and the Communist Party of Vietnam should be implemented, along with deeper exchanges and mutual learning on theories and governance experience. Political security should be prioritized, and the 3+3 strategic dialogue mechanism covering foreign affairs, national defense, and public security should be fully utilized. Both sides should also continue strengthening education on ideals and values among the younger generations of the two countries. The two sides should work together to advance their respective modernization efforts. Efforts should be made to accelerate the alignment of development strategies and give priority to enhancing infrastructure connectivity. Cooperation should be strengthened in emerging fields such as artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and the Internet of Things. China welcomes more high-quality Vietnamese products entering the Chinese market. The two sides should continue to expand friendly exchanges and cooperation in tourism, culture, media, education, health, and sports, fostering deeper mutual understanding and friendship between the two peoples. I would like to join you in announcing the launch of the China-Vietnam Tourism Cooperation Year for 2026 to 2027. Both sides should uphold the principles of peace, development, cooperation, and mutual benefit, jointly oppose unilateralism and protectionism, and work together to maintain the stability and smooth functioning of the global free trade system, well as industrial and supply chains. The two sides should cooperate in advancing the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, the Global Civilization Initiative, and the Global Governance Initiative to address global challenges together. This year marks the 5th anniversary of the establishment of the China-ASEAN Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. China is willing to strengthen coordination and cooperation with regional countries to promote the development of a closer China-ASEAN community with a shared future. Lin stated that this is his first foreign visit since being elected president of Vietnam, coinciding with the first anniversary of General Secretary Xi Jinping's historic visit to Vietnam last year. He noted that this fully reflects the sentiment expressed by General Secretary Xi that neighboring countries are growing ever closer. Vietnam expresses gratitude to the Communist Party of China, the Chinese government, and the Chinese people for their important political support for the 14th National Congress of the Communist Party of Vietnam. Vietnam is willing to continue its traditional friendship with China and promote the ongoing development of the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership and a community with a shared future of strategic significance between the two countries. Vietnam congratulates China on the successful completion of its 14th five-year plan and its historic achievements. Vietnam believes that China will smoothly implement the 15th five-year plan, continue to advance high-quality development and socialist modernization, achieve its second centenary goal as scheduled, and remain a key pillar and major driving force for global peace and development. At present, Vietnam-China relations continue to show positive momentum. Strategic communication remains close. Cooperation in national defense and security has progressed from dialogue to practical collaboration. Economic, trade, investment, and infrastructure cooperation has deepened, people-to-people exchanges are frequent, and multilateral engagement has become even closer. Vietnam values General Secretary Xi Jinping's long-standing support for Vietnam-China relations and sees developing ties with China as an objective need, a strategic choice, and a top priority. Vietnam supports the One China policy and seeks to deepen high-level communication and cooperation across the economy. Trade, investment, transport, tourism, education, science and technology, people-to-people exchanges, and border and maritime management. Vietnam supports the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, the Global Civilization Initiative, and the Global Governance Initiative proposed by General Secretary Xi Jinping, and is willing to work with China to advance the building of a community with a shared future for humanity. After the talks, the two sides witnessed the signing of several bilateral cooperation documents covering areas such as party schools, public security, justice, the economy, industrial and supply chain cooperation, customs collaboration, science and technology, public welfare, human resource development, media, and local government exchanges. At noon on the same day, Xi Jinping and Peng Liyuan hosted a welcome banquet for Su Lin and his wife in the Golden Hall of the Great Hall of the People. On the morning of April 15th, Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee and President of China, together with Su Lin, General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam and President of Vietnam, met with Chinese and Vietnamese youth representatives participating in the Red Study Tour during Su Lin's state visit to China. In his remarks, Xi Jinping noted that last year he and General Secretary Su Lin launched the Red Study Tour project. Over the past year, young people from both countries have explored the historical roots of China-Vietnam friendship, experienced various aspects of Chinese-style modernization, and created many vivid stories of mutual learning and exchange across different regions of China. Not long ago, Xi Jinping received a letter written in Chinese from students at the high school affiliated with Hanoi National University in Vietnam, in which they shared their reflections on participating in the Red Study Tour and expressed their aspiration to become inheritors and promoters of China-Vietnam friendship. Xi Jinping emphasized that young people are an important force for social development and progress, and they are also the successors to the shared cause of the two parties and the two countries. He expressed three hopes for the youth: that they support one another and carry forward the deep China-Vietnam friendship, that they take responsibility and use their energy and creativity to drive innovation, openness, cooperation, and mutual benefit, and that they keep a global outlook, help build a shared future for humanity, and contribute to human progress. Su Lin said that since the launch of the Red Study Tour a year ago, thousands of Vietnamese young people have followed in the footsteps of earlier generations of leaders, visiting historical sites in China and learning about the revolutionary traditions and deep friendship between the two countries. Young people serve as an important bridge between the two parties and the two countries. It is hoped that the youth of both nations will further strengthen their ideals and convictions, enhance their political awareness, acquire scientific knowledge, deepen their understanding of Vietnam-China relations, and play a meaningful role in the development of their respective countries and in fostering bilateral friendship. More than 200 youth representatives from Vietnam and over 100 youth representatives from China attended the event. The young participants from both countries warmly applauded the important remarks delivered by the leaders of the two sides. The Red Study Tour was jointly announced by General Secretary Xi Jinping and President Su Lin during Xi's visit to Vietnam in April 2025. The initiative aims to encourage young people from both countries to follow in the footsteps of earlier generations of leaders, explore the historical roots of China-Vietnam friendship, and contribute their youthful energy to the socialist development of both nations and to building a strategically significant China-Vietnam community with a shared future.